we see emotions as something that makes us weak. We see emotions as something that proves us vulnerable, when in truth, vulnerability is your deepest source of power. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Motherhood, a video that has been awaited for so long. I mean, at least for me. Probably to you guys know, but I started this video in January and it's now May. So for me is quite a special message that I want to put up there. So in this video, we will cover the concept of motherhood. What is motherhood? What is a mother? What is the role of the mother? How is the role with you versus your mother? And how can you become your own mother? So astrologically speaking, when we think about mother, we think about a certain amount of planets. And those are Moon, Neptune, Saturn. These are the three core planets of motherhood. And then you have those that are common on both, that are Pluto and Uranus. But for now, think of your moon. That's probably the thing that indicates your mother the most. And of course, I could not let go of the epitome of femininity that is Venus, naturally. Even though Venus is in regards to your spirit and not to your soul. But in here is about motherhood as well. So Moon, Venus, Saturn, and Neptune. Those are the core four planets that represent your mother in your birth chart. How you see the femininity, how you see motherhood, and how you become a mum to yourself. Motherhood, again, just like fatherhood, is a relationship or a behavior within a relationship. That by behaving a certain way, you in that relationship attain certain results. Let's just wind back a little bit. You remember what fatherhood is, right? Fatherhood is a relationship by which, through respect and love, you allow the person to experiment themselves, to experiment their abilities. Therefore, the person who's being fathered become capable. They believe, they see themselves as becoming capable. They prove themselves capable. They try and try and try. And with the support of the father, whatever that is, with the support of the father, they become capable. They can even father themselves. Motherhood is in a less experimental sense. It's in a less extroverted sense. It's in a less outwardly expansive sense. It's more introspective. Of course, it's feminine. It's more inwards. It's more esoteric. It's more intimate in a way, but also more introverted. Motherhood is a relationship by which providing nurture and care for your emotions makes you feel safe. Simple as this. Mothers are there to make us feel safe, eventually, by means of nurturing our emotions. So mothers tend to their children's emotion. The emotion feels happy, she nurtures that emotion. The child feels sad, she nurtures that emotion. The child feels confused. Okay, let's explore. Why are you confused? The child feels afraid. Okay, let's explore. What are you afraid of? Let's explore that fear. I said motherhood is more inwards and more introverted, but there's some sort of practical work on it as well. So let's say a child is afraid of spiders, right? And mom is there, why are you afraid? There's nothing wrong with it. And then, why are you so afraid? Because they're going to bite me and they have those like legs and stuff. Okay, let's see what's in there. And so the mom does take on this field trip of allowing the child to experiment their emotions with this one creature. And looking at it, observing it, explaining, okay, but see, it's fine. The fear is calmer now. You can feel the fear. It's fine. It can go through you. You see, it's in this sense that I say it's a more butterfly. It's in this sense that I say it's a more inward relationship. It's a more inward work. Because the work of going and touching the spider and allowing your own expression to experiment the spider, that's more the role of the father. Does that mean the mother can't do that? Of course it can. Of course it can. Because, again, it's like an infinity sign, right? The roles are interchangeable. The moment the mother is nurturing the child in regards to understanding that the spider is okay, it's not going to bite or it's not going to cause any harm, then she probably takes the kid on a field trip of, like, taking the spider into her own hand and say, see, it's on my hand. Oh, it's all tickly and stuff. And then it passes the spider to the kid's hands. They're probably going to, cry or shrink or just scream. But that's part of that process of, like, allowing the child to understand that emotions themselves are manageable. We are a container of emotions. So the mother is the one that teaches you how to do that. Now, as usual, it can be a silky road or it can be a really controversial one full of traumas. And that's the majority of us, because that's the point of Earth. In my opinion, motherhood and the principle of motherhood is the most important relationship we have in our lives. We live, again, on Earth. 7% of Earth is water. We live in a more feminine planet than masculine, where the energy of the feminine is more prevalent. Therefore, is the energy we actually should take more care of ourselves in our bodies. And it's the energy that is most in unbalance in our species, again, in my opinion, and on Earth. The energy of the feminine is very passive. That doesn't mean it doesn't do stuff. Not doing, as they say in The Crown, I love that show, as they say in The Crown, especially on the first 2 seasons, not doing anything is sometimes the hardest thing you have, or is the hardest thing you have to do. Because staying put, not speaking your mind, allowing yourself to feel calm when emotions are going through you is the hardest thing you can do. But that is ultimately the principle of a really, really well regulated feminine. The feminine is what in you deals with your emotions, and the emotions are just a tool. Emotions exist in you for your soul to communicate with you. It's the way by which your soul communicates. So say that you had a past life in medieval times that you were really happy, and it's particularly happy for this one incarnation we have now. When you go through a medieval town, so you go to Tallinn, for example, in Estonia, super medieval, you go to that medieval fortress in Croatia or something like that. And if your past life was there, it's natural that when you go through those places, you're going to have a lot of emotions. You're going to feel a lot of things. That doesn't mean that you have to stop whatever it is you're doing because those emotions came. Those emotions came to keep your process, to keep you in your path, to allow you to have all that intensity of sensations in your body. And through those sensations, you decide something. And through that decision, then you continue creating your destiny. You continue unfolding your destiny. This is basically like the formula of soul. Oh, it's time for her to study this one thing. So when she's at that medieval city, she will remember this thing, so she will want to study carpentry. And then there she goes, doing an online course on carpentry. Because we're in the 21st century, everybody does online courses. We're not in medieval times anymore, right? Anyway, so that's kind of the process by which emotions exist in us. They're not so much a part of us as sometimes we want to believe. And you've probably heard of the power of detaching from things and detaching from people, detaching from material objects, going into a minimalistic flow in your life. Detachment has everything to do with how you deal with your emotions. When you're able to detach from things, you truly attain like one of the highest realms of your own femininity. You really learn to navigate your emotions but not become them. Some spiritual leader once told me that emotions are like a stream. You observe the stream like flowing around, and like really strong stream like flowing around you, but you don't necessarily put your feet in there. You don't really have to dive into that pool, because for your human eyes, it might just look like a natural stream, but in truth, if you dive deep, it's actually a swell pool, so you might go in. Emotions are a bit like that. So when the role and the energy of the feminine is so inverted in our society, it is complicated to perceive the role of mothers and the role of what motherhood and the ability and necessity we have to feel calm and at peace with our own emotions and to navigate our own emotions. With this idea of water, with this idea that there is a stream of emotions constantly inside you, if you really dive deep into understanding those emotions, and there's a trick here. So there's two ways on this idea that I'm transmitting to you guys. One idea is, well, there is a bottom. You should go into your emotions. You should understand your emotions. You should understand what they mean, the point of them existing in your life. When someone is in your life and they provoke certain emotions in you, you can understand those, of course. That's the moment of mothering yourself. You sit down and, man, why do I feel so triggered about this person? Why do I start to feel uncomfortable and cringy and it's like I can't really speak, or I can only act in a certain way? Why is that happening? And you analyze that for yourself. In another way, when something in your life is provoking a certain emotion, therefore transits, like suddenly Pluto in your birth chart is squaring Neptune in the sky, and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff being like, you're literally being downloaded with a shit ton of emotional information, a lot of energy, a lot of codes. Sometimes that is the one example I mean in comparison to the stream. Those are not the emotions for us to dive in so much. They come from above. They are external to us. They exist to provoke a certain thought process and a certain decision in us. And it's time to kind of activate the memory that our soul has of past lives for us to act and do something right now. So understand that you, as a human, are a container of these emotions, as if you are like a cylinder, you know, open up, open down. It comes in, it goes right through you if you don't resist it, and then you understand, okay, I'm feeling this. What is it that I'm feeling? What is it making me want to do? So I feel it, but what do I want to do? What is it in my shoulders? Is it in my heart? Is it in my gut? It's in my legs. Maybe go shake yourself, do some workout, or go talk to somebody about it. Talk to yourself about it too. Meditate a little bit on it. Do some Reiki, or just dance a little bit. And suddenly you will understand that that emotion is provoking a desire. It's provoking a want. And from that want, you make that decision and you act. That is solely what it is. We are containers and vessels of our own emotions, but that doesn't mean that we have necessarily to react to them or enhance them. My father once told me something that was, to me, it's the trick of all emotions. I remember coming home from work. I was working as a dentist in a very old school practice, very old school. And I was fresh out of uni with so many ideas, wanted to revolutionize the dentistry industry, of course, like everybody does when they get out of uni. And I get him saying that old fuck, he won't even invest on this kind of anesthesia. We can make so much surgeries with this. And no, he was just complaining. And then my father calmly just asked, well, do you think he's gonna buy them anytime this week or invest in such things? Like, of course not. Of course he's not. Obviously not gonna put any money on this. He's an old bug. He's not gonna do anything to change. And then he said, maybe in the future. I don't know. That's what I want to change. And then he just waited for me to quietly, like, to get quiet about my rant. And he said, if you don't give it any more gas, that fire will cease to exist. I was like, what do you mean by that? I got even like more lighten up. But it's true. Emotions are just like that. You do have the flame, but if you put more gas into it, that flame is going to grow a lot. It is within us, that sense of fire, that sense of air, that it is within us to tame the emotions inside our body. And that is the beauty of understanding the alchemical energy of elements, isn't it? Because feminine is ultimately earth and water. But what regulates the emotions that are the water are actually the fire and the air. Because those are the emotions generated in you. Another thing that I want to bring into you guys on this motherhood video is the idea that you have two kinds of emotions. Emotions generated from the spirit, so fire and air. Emotions that you generate for yourself. So they are created from you, so to say. Like you meet someone new and you feel something. Or you have emotions that are memories, the emotions of the soul. So you are a container of emotions in two ways. The emotions from the soul, the emotions that come from memory, the emotions that are like suddenly you feel a certain way. Nothing happened. You just feel a certain way. Oh my God, suddenly I feel so sad. Are you supposed to get in on that sadness? Do you have time for that? Or do you want to do something different? Those are the emotions of the soul. And the point of them is for you not to dive so deep onto them. It's just acknowledge that, okay, I'm feeling this. What is it trying to tell me? What is the desire and the want that I have to feel from it and the decision that I have to make? And then you have the emotions generated. Both emotions have the same cause, is to make you make a decision and act, because our actions keep on breeding our destiny throughout our life. But the emotions generated are different because you feel more control over them. They are less subtle, they're more intense, but they're shorter in a way, you know? When you meet someone new, like you have a love interest suddenly, someone just shows up in your life and like, whoa, it's very intense, but the moment they're gone, the emotion is gone too. You're not past life connected. It's literally someone new. So, or you discover a new city that you've never visited before. It's like, wow, amazing, this is so beautiful. And look at that place and that place, and that's like, you're like in absolute state of joy and fascination. But the moment you leave, the emotions stay there. All you have now is the pictures and the sharing the experience with your friends to reignite those emotions or travel back to that same place. Do you see the difference? We have emotions generated and we have emotions of memory. Emotions of memory come from here and they go through our bodies as they leave. They're supposed to inform us of something, making us desire something and act upon that desire. Emotions generated have the other way. So this, up to bottom, is the feminine path. Bottom up is the masculine path. So the masculine actually flows on the right side of your body and the feminine flows on the left side of your body. If you go to an energy healer or an energy transmuter workshop or therapist, they will balance out the energies of your body like this. The right side flows masculine, the left side flows feminine. And emotions generated, so the masculine side of you, you will feel them from your feet and your center and your, sorry, not your center, your base, from your root. They will ignite certain feelings in you that will make you make decisions again and act on those decisions. So this is the essence of our emotions. Motherhood is the relationship by which helps us regulate all these things. Many moms don't teach us that because they're not able to do that themselves. So what I meant by saying that feminine was inverted in this world is that we're not so okay with expressing our emotions in the society that we live. But it's up to us individually to understand that when we start saying to people openly how we feel, we will incur and we will dive deep into femininity and we will start seeing that there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is up to you to state how you feel. The moment you say how you feel, you're automatically in your feminine energy, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man. And that's, again, a trick you can play on your romantic relationships. A man will tell a woman how she is. You are beautiful, you are glorious. You would shower her with compliments, you would gift her, right? So she can be in her feminine, receiving, and he can be in his masculine, giving. When you say how you feel, you open the door to what's within. A woman can say, that makes me feel like this. Oh, I love it when you take the trash out, when you gift me that. When you take out the trash, I love it that you do that. Like, I really hate taking the trash out. And when you do it, it makes me feel so happy because my life just becomes easy. I feel at peace. I feel less stressed when you do that for me. So when we, in a society, and as a society, because society is not the individual, it's the collective individual, when we start opening about how I feel to people, we start materning each other, anyway. We start mothering each other, and that is so necessary. So necessary. For most mothers are out of balance. It's like, it is inverted in a way, isn't it? So let's see an example, a great example. Corporate life. I can't say how I feel. You can. You are in a meeting. You're accessing numbers. You're accessing the choosing client A or client B for a proposal or project that the company is going to incur on next month. You can step into your feminine by saying, I feel that this client, despite looking good on paper, shall bring us more stress and more worry than actually certainty. And if it's certainty that we're looking for, maybe this is not the best option. We have proofs A, B, and C, and because of that, I feel that now it might look good and it might sound like the best option, and it even might be for a month, but then we will have 5 more months of covering down really deep holes that we did not want to encounter in the first place. Whereas if you go for the second client, it might be a slower growth, but then in time, we will feel safe. I feel that this would be the best choice. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Intuition is part of both. We're both feminine. So you gotta to feel at one with your emotions, and to kind of prove a point here that there's nothing wrong with feeling and there's nothing wrong with expressing them. This is a really good way to do them. In relationships especially, romantic ones, family ones, or with friends. It's not so much, but you always speak over me. You never let me talk. It is completely different when you say, you know, the thing is, when we interact, see how I did that? I don't feel heard. I feel that there is not enough space for me to explain my ideas until the very end. I feel that I have to rush explaining what I'm saying. I have to rush even telling my jokes. And I would love to feel differently about that. So that is a very powerful way in which you can use your femininity in expressing your emotions. Again, we see emotions as something that makes us weak. We see emotions as something that proves us vulnerable, when in truth, vulnerability is your deepest source of power. When we open ourselves to this way of speaking, I feel that I don't have enough space to speak. I feel that I have to rush my conversation. Have you ever thought that maybe the other person is not even considering that they're having that effect on you? Not everybody's just doing things to be mean. Some people are just doing things because that's how they are. And if you never say how that makes you feel, they will never know. Imagine how surprising would that be when you say to that friend, I always feel that I have to be rushing conversation because I don't feel I have enough space to talk. Like, really? Oh, do you think I'm speaking too much? And then they're asking, you can say, well, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you interject, but other times you interrupt and then you carry on with your trace of thought and I can't speak anymore. Oh, really? I do that. It will be way more open than you had ever thought. And that's all we need. This is Mothering 101. You don't have to go back to a narcissistic mother if you don't want to take care of your own femininity and to take care of your own mothering and being able to mother yourself. All you have to do is learn how to understand your own emotions, understand what they're trying to tell you, understand the feeling behind them, and most of all, grasp the desire that are trying to make you attain. And from that, you make that one decision and you carry on with your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you feel the message is for you or for any of your friends, share it, like it, subscribe, and stick around. I've been feeling sort of a calling to talk about this, maybe because it's my own journey, as you know, since I went to Greece, Turkey, India, now London. I went full no contact with my parents, and it's been the most amazing journey of my life. I did not know I would feel so free, and I did not know it would prove so fruitful, to be honest with you. I am someone with Chiron in Leo on the 4th, even though my 4th opens in Cancer. So family is absolutely everything to me. I'm the most loyal person when it comes to family, as you can see by the Chiron in Leo. But the truth is, when it comes a point to say no, it's no. Other people are by your side, and that sometimes not. And it doesn't matter if they're blood or not for you to stick around. So I guess that's why I've been kind of called upon to talk about this, and this information came to me. What is motherhood? What is fatherhood? What is the point of these two relationships? Because if you really look into it, it's incredible how they pose such an importance in your life. It's your first gods. It's your first sense of woman and man. It's your first sense of feminine and masculine. It's the first sense of trying yourself out in the world, masculine, and navigating your inner world, feminine, your emotions. And then it's the way we interact with society. It's the way we see ourselves. It's the way we're gonna reciprocate with other people. It's the way we create our relationships and we base our relationships on. We're inevitably gonna repeat the same things. So if it is your case, like mine, that no matter how hard you tried, and no matter how hard you tried to be good for your parents or amenize the relationship and finding something harmonious, but at the cost of not being yourself, it is okay to let go. And it's sometimes actually the best thing you can do. It is perfectly fine. So I hope these videos make you feel that. Let me know if you want me to tell you my story, this particular story, and how this adventure happens, and now what I did, because it was directly channeled from my guides. They just said, do this way, this time, this date, go with this person to this place. And I just did it. I just did it. And in truth, now that it's been more than 6 months, oh my God, it is insane. I could not have stayed, actually. I could have not have done it any other way. I was being the scapegoat for so many other things. So again, all my life I've heard I could not do anything. By getting out of dentistry to astrology, I realized I'm going to become the person who tells other people they can do anything they want. So take this video as a message from me directly to you. You can do it. You can go and you can do whatever the hell you feel like doing. You can follow that desire to the depth of your soul, and it will be worth it, I guarantee. Parents, honor. My loves, I will see you on the next video. And until then, stay light and stay golden. Always.